I was able to watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, so let's review it. Let's start off with everything I liked about it. And for starters, this movie definitely holds up to the original trilogy. It's definitely as good as that original trilogy, and in my opinion, it is better than one of the movies in that trilogy. And Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes holds up to that. Definitely adds some new things in here as well that makes it work better. Also add some stuff in here too to make it have its unique style. This is also a great new start to this new trilogy because we had that trilogy with Caesar, and now we get to explore this new trilogy that the original movies were based on. Now we get to see that remade into this new trilogy following Noah and his adventure in here too. And so far for what they did for this first movie, I was a fan of. And I'm loving where their direction is going, and I can't wait to see more. Speaking of Noah, the new characters in here work really well. I fell in love with, like, the main apes in this movie. We have Noah, then we have that, is it a orangutan? I don't know. I think that's a orangutan. I fell in love with those two characters. And then, of course, we have the main human girl. And I fell in love with those characters automatically. They're able to build up the characters just in the beginning of the movie. Surprisingly, just as the original trilogy did, they're able to build upon the characters and make you care about them instantly. And then watching this trailer, I thought that this movie was going to be too much of Rise because what the trailer looked like to me was just Rise, but instead of an ape, it was the humans. That's what the trailer looked like. Well, that movie's not this. This movie's not Rise, but newer and focuses on the humans instead. It's not that. This movie's a completely different story from that, and I enjoyed the direction they were going with the story throughout it. Speaking of the story, wonderful story. I loved what they did in here with the story. I'm not talking about it at all because the trailers didn't really reveal any of it, but I loved the story in here. I really enjoyed what they did with the story. Like I said, this is basically the original Planet of the Apes, but remade in a way. Of course, astronauts aren't in it and stuff, but just basically that world is basically borrowed from that, but we're just more into the past than where that movie sets. But this movie has a great story, and I love what they did in here. And of course, the visuals. This movie makes Avatar: The Way of Water look like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. What I mean by that is, I'm not saying that Avatar's visuals are bad. I'm saying that compared to the budgets of these films, compared to Avatar or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has not even a $200 million budget, and for it to look sometimes better than Avatar blows your mind. The visuals look great. They're amazing. Because this entire movie is nothing but visuals. And of course, the original trilogy had that, and now it's starting into this new trilogy and gonna continue. And of course, we have the world building in here. Because the original trilogy was set when humans were still a thing, but a virus was wiping them out. This movie basically extinct. They don't talk anymore, stuff like that. So everything we saw in the 1968 version is what's in here. And this movie does a really good job at building out this new world that the apes have now conquered and made their kingdom. And it does a really good job at setting up all of that and just showing what this new world looks like with world building. This movie is an excellent movie and is 100% worth checking out. But I do have to talk about what I didn't like about the movie. These are just little nitpicks, they're not anything big. But the first thing I feel like some jokes didn't land. Most of them did near the end of the movie, but I feel like just a couple at the beginning of the movie didn't really have that impact. My entire audience felt that way too. None of the jokes really landed. I had a part where you would laugh, but no one in my audience laughed. And I did feel like this movie kind of barely slowed down a little bit, just a little bit, but quickly kicked back into gear. And I'm gonna compare this to Dune Part 2 for a second, even though, although I really enjoyed this movie, Dune 2 is way up there for me, extremely. The thing about Dune Part 2 and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is Dune Part 2 stuck with me. It stayed with me and I couldn't stop thinking about it. When it comes to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, it's not like I forgot I watched it. I still remember it and still remember how good of a movie it was, It's not like it stayed with me as much as Doom Part 2 did. It does stay with you, but not in a way of really impactful. All in all, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is 100% worth your time. It stands up to that trilogy that we had and continues this new trilogy of movies, and does a really good job at setting up this new trilogy and everything off of that with an amazing story, and really captures what made the original trilogy good. I do have a few nitpicks, but overall, 100% worth checking out, and out of 10 I'll give Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If this video interests you, maybe these ones on the side will too. Like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.